Welcome to Yoga with Val. We're going to take a look at Paschimottanasana, intense forward stretch over both legs. Forward bends are those positions in yoga where people often feel they struggle. When you're forward bending, you can see the progress you're making, and people tend to lead with their head and their eyes, rather than feeling what's happening in their body. So let's see if we can work into stretching into our forward bend. We're going to need to work into those hamstrings and free up that lower back and lengthen the spine. You might find yourself needing some blocks or a strap. The strap is there to help extend through the hamstrings. If you can comfortably reach your foot, you won't necessarily require a strap. We're going to take a marker position to start off with. So we are going to have a look at our Paschimottanasana and where we are at this moment in time. Because I'm going to go from here to laying down, I'm just going to move those blocks out of the way. So the legs are extended in front. We're sitting up on those sitting bones. Feet are flat as if they're against the wall with the toes to the ceiling. Try not to lock out those knees. Sit tall through the spine. Lengthen away to the ceiling. Hinge forwards at the hips. Release the body down towards the legs at the same time as lengthening through the spine. Take your marker position. Doesn't matter if you're here, maybe you're here. How is your body feeling today? Where are you in this position without any limbering? Then we'll take a little back bend, so bring yourself up. Elbows behind, shoulder blades drawing together, chest lifted, gaze lifted. Little back bend. Relax and release. Bring yourself down onto your mat for a moment to bring yourself into your body. You're going to lay down, make sure you've got enough room to stretch overhead. Find a position where you can release through your lower back. Sense that your hips are releasing, lower back's comfortable, shoulders are released, spine's long, head nice and centered. Releasing through the jaw, softening through your shoulders, letting go through your arms and your legs. So a few moments with your breath to bring your focus into your body. In breath opening and creating space. Out breath to relax, release and let go. Lower back comfortable. Belly relaxed. Shoulders dropping down away from your ears. Length through your spine. Soft through your jaw. Relaxing and releasing the weight of the head. Soft through those arms. Relaxing fingers and thumbs. Settle through your hips. Space in your knees and ankles. Release through your legs. Breathing in, creating space and opening. Breathing out, relaxing, releasing and letting go. Aware of your breath. Aware of your body, listening for any feedback. Breathe in, creating space, opening any areas of tightness. And breathe out, relaxing, releasing, encouraging every muscle to soften. When you're ready, begin to wriggle and stretch into your fingers and toes. So we get a sense of the circulation flowing through the body. And when you're ready, we can take a long straightening stretch through arms overhead, heels lengthening away, starting to lengthen through that spine. When you're ready to release from that long stretch, through arms come back, knees can come up, Come on to the tummy, you can have a curl in. And as we release out, we'll take those feet down to the mat, keeping those knees bent, arms a little way from your body. We're going to work into a twist, so decide what works best for you. Do you want those ankles and knees apart to begin? We drop the knees over to one side, soles of the feet turning off the mat, turn the head in the opposite direction. Settle into that twist, releasing your lower back. Use an in-breath when you're ready to bring your knees to centre, head to centre. And then release the other way, knees dropping over, head turning. Release into that position. In-breath as you're ready to return to centre. Are you ready to work with those ankles and knees in together? Allowing the knees to roll over, feet stay on top of each other, soles of the feet off the mat, head turn. Breathing in, creating space through your body, and breathing out to release fully. In breath to roll to centre. Out breath to let go as you twist the other way. Settling into your twist. When you're ready, use your in-breath to come to centre. If you like working stronger, we can cross the left leg over the right as the knees go to the right. Head might turn to the left. Do encourage those shoulders to flatten so that chest is open. Use the in-breath when you're ready to roll to centre. If you're working cross-leg, change to the other side. And allow those knees to drop over. Encourage those shoulders to flatten, chest to stay open. Breathing in to centre as you're ready. Uncross the legs. If you feel you need to straighten, you might be straightening out in a long stretch or having a hug. We're going to work into some hip circles next. So bring your knees onto your tummy, hands cup over kneecaps, fingertips pointing down towards the shins. We bring the knees up towards us, take the knees apart and push them away. Drawing the knees back together and coming up the centre of the body. We continue to work into circles, hips going in opposite direction, knees going in opposite directions, so we work into those hips. I know some of you like to work with the toes together, and some prefer to work without the hands on the knees, in which case do keep those abdominal muscles drawn down so that you're protecting your lower back. Having done several in that direction, we need to go in the opposite direction. So we go down the centre line of the body, take the knees apart, draw them up the outside, they come together and down the centre. So a few in the opposite direction, working whichever way is right for you to work into freeing up those hips. When you feel balanced, take a little pause. We're going to bring those feet down to the mat. We'll work into our right leg. We're going to hug that right knee in. You're either holding over or under the shin, wherever's right for you, drawing that right leg into the body. Make sure you're able to breathe. Releasing the right foot down and drawing the left leg up. Again, either over or under the shin. Bringing that thigh towards you. This is the same close down we're looking for the body, in the body when we do our forward bend. And releasing. We're going to hug and stretch the heel to the ceiling this time. So bring the right knee up again, hugging in. Then we release and stretch the heel away to the ceiling. Keep your hips flat to the mat, lower back relaxed. Work at lengthening through those hamstrings, opening through the back of the knee as the heel stretches away. We bend that knee, foot to the mat, and we can work to the other side. So that little hug first of all, settle through our hips, lower back relaxed. Then we release the hands, take the heel to the ceiling, lengthen, trying to open through the back of that knee. Keep that hip and lower back relaxed onto the mat. Make the whole of a stretch through the back of the left leg. Bend the knee, foot to the mat. For the extra stretch, this is where you'll take hold of your belt. And if you're working on the belt, it goes under the toes, not in the instep. If you can bring your hand to your foot comfortably, then work hand to foot. So we are drawing that leg back overhead. You will get a sense of the hip lifting. Okay, we should be working into that hamstring muscle as we draw that leg over. Breathing, lengthening through the heel, getting lots of stretch into the back of that leg. Releasing the stretch. If it works better for you, take the left foot into the belt in the air. Okay, the same stretch to the left leg. Right foot's down to the mat, left leg's drawing over. So here you're more likely to see that the hip begins to lift. As you stretch through that heel, draw the leg over, the hip will feel that it's coming up from the mat. Let's try it. You can use a hand, of course, it's a hand bridge. And releasing that leg. Going to pop that belt to one side. Going to bring both knees onto the tummy. I'm going to hug underneath my knees. Interlace my fingers, slide them up the legs, start to straighten those legs. So it's as if we're laying in our Paschimottanasana, drawing the head up towards the knees. So you can bring those legs down as far as works for you. And you can lift the head and shoulders a little from the mat. So it might be that you're here, working on drawing the chest up. Okay, so work in what position you're in. And then we bend the knees, lowering the body down. Return ourselves to the mat. Going to just have a little bridge posture here. So feet and knees hip width apart. Hips relaxed, shoulders released. Long spine, space in the neck. Peeling the spine up off the mat. So we pelvic tilt. We lift those hips towards the ceiling. We roll ourselves up into bridge posture. Lift the heart center, lift the hips. Feel those thighs working. Weight in the shoulders, and then we gently lower. Coming down vertebrae by vertebrae. And from here, we're going to bring ourselves up. And we're going to come into cat position. So bring yourself up however works for you. We'll come into our cat posture, so that's over onto our hands and our knees. Thinking about finding that flat backed position. Allow the belly to relax and release and bring the head forwards, chest through. As you're ready to work the other way, the chin draws in, tail tucks under, and we arch high. Really draw your belly into your spine so you're hollowing. Allow your hips to relax, belly to release down, look forwards and through. When you're ready, working into another arch. Chin in, tail under, lift high through the centre of the spine. One more if you're happy to. Belly releasing. Chest coming through, looking forwards. Hips turning, chin drawing in, lifting the belly. Release to your flat back position, and we'll take our bottom back to our heels. We'll drop the chest down towards the mat, forehead down towards the mat. So again, we've got that sense of the forward bend here between the body and the thighs that we're looking for in our Paschimottanasana. From here, gently bring yourself up. We're going to come up to standing. We'll pause for a moment in Tadasana and we get up to standing. So just standing. Take a moment to stand nice and tall, feel grounded. Aware that we've come from standing after being down on the mat. We're going to be hanging forward, so the head's going to be lower than the heart. If at any point you feel unwell, if you feel a little bit dizzy, then please either allow yourself carefully down to your mat to have a little rest, or ease yourself steadily up to standing. We're going to start with a nice ragdoll soft bend. I'm going to have my feet hip width-ish, soft bend of the knees, hands on the front of the thighs, chin drops to chest, and I roll forwards and hang in my forward bend. If your hands comfortably come to the mat, it's hand to opposite elbow, and you're releasing, allowing that spine to release. You might be starting to straighten those legs a little. Please don't lock them out. We want the spine to release. Head is acting as an additional weight to lengthen that spine down. We're going to be very steady when we come up. We're going to bend those knees, bring the hands to thighs, and steadily anchor. We're going to work into a wide-legged position now. So bring those feet comfortable distance apart for you. We're going to have hands on the hips so that we can release ourselves forwards, hinging at the hips. Okay, so sense having a flat back and coming forwards. Bring yourself forwards. Whenever you're ready to, the hands come down to the mat. If you're struggling to get the hands down onto the mat, then think about taking those feet a little wider. It might be just your fingertips are on the mat. You might be able to work towards bringing those palms down. You might be working towards bringing those forearms down. However you're working, try and relax and release the head, neck, shoulders, so the spine is lengthening down towards the mat. Hands come up onto hips. Lengthen through your spine and come up with a flat back. The next movement's going to see us going forwards, and we're going to take a little journey across to one foot, look behind, a little journey across to the other foot, and then come back to lift at centre. Okay, so do make sure you've watched this before you go forwards. We tilt. We come down to the mat, so this is why we need our hands on the mat. We take our little journey round to our right foot. You might only just get towards the right foot, you might be able to get beyond, and we're looking behind as if we've got beyond. We're getting a stretch down the side of the body. Side of the body is important in Paschimottanasana to get that reach. Bring yourself steadily forwards. Take a journey over towards your left foot. You might go beyond it, in which case you're looking behind. Lengthening. Steadily bringing yourself to centre. Hands onto hips. Flat back to come up. Good. We can bring those feet in together. You might be walking them in together, or you might be jumping them in together. We're going to go into a twist this time. What's going to happen is we'll come in a forward bend. We'll lift an arm to the ceiling and look up to the hand. Okay. If your hand won't come as far as the foot, it goes on to shin, knee, wherever you can reach. So we get that arm up, we're opening, stretching across the chest. So your choice of where your feet are. If you want to work strongly, have them in together. If you want to work a bit softer, have them out under your hips. Come forwards in your forward bend, be that sliding forwards or more traditional flat backing forwards. So we want to release our arms, left hand to left foot or shin or knee, wherever it reaches. Right arm up towards the ceiling, look up to that hand. You're in a wonderful twist and opening the chest through the shoulder. When you've had a good stretch, bring your right hand down and it's going to come to the left, either knee, shin, foot, and the left arm comes up. We're looking up towards that hand. We're in a nice twist, breathing. When you're ready, that hand can come down. So while we're here in our forward bend, let's take our hands to our calves and draw the head in towards the knees. Releasing the arms, bending the knees. If you need two hands, come on the thighs. We roll ourselves up. We're going to now do a forward bend and we're going to hug into those legs so that we look to work the leg muscles and open that lower back. So again, if you want to, your feet can be hip width apart. It's a good idea if you're a larger built person and you need a bit of space, then feet apart will give you a little bit of space to move the body into. We have our knees bent. We bring our body down onto the thighs and we have a gentle hug into those legs, not too tight. Allow the head and neck to release, and then we're trying to keep the body in touch with the legs as we take the hips up towards the ceiling. Trying to stretch into these hamstring muscles, into your back muscles. If for any reason you don't find that particularly comfortable, you'd rather be holding down to the calves, and please hold down to the calves. And we're going for our best standing forward bend. Gravity is helping that spine to lengthen. When you're ready to come out, you bend those knees, release those hands, and gently uncurl. Now, okay, so we've done lots of limbering. We're ready to come onto the mat and do some work into that Paschimottanasana posture. So I said you might need some blocks. If you know you really struggle because you've got tight hamstrings and you want to, you can sit onto a block. This will encourage your legs to drop forwards, brings the floor up to you in effect, and gives you a bit of a tilt for going forwards. So if you feel you'd like a block, please use one. Telephone directories aren't nice and thick anymore. We are going to start with the knees bent and the heels onto the mat, and we're going to bring our body down onto our thighs. We've got that loose hug again. Try and keep the spine long, walk those heels away, and bring your body down with your legs towards the mat. You stop at whichever point you feel you're losing contact with your thighs. Lengthen, try and draw the shoulder blades back, be open through your chest. Okay, so we've got this sense of working into the thigh muscle, into the hamstring muscles and the lower back. Length through the spine. Then we're going to release those hands, allow those legs to relax. Hands behind hips, elbows and shoulder blades drawing together. Chest and gaze lifting to the ceiling. Keep length in your lower back. Don't allow your lower back or the back of the neck to collapse. And soften and release. Now we're going to work into those extended legs. If you're not ready to work into extended legs, please feel free to repeat the last position. Think about sitting on your sitting bones, finding that contact with the bony bits into the mat. Think about lengthening through the legs. Don't lock those knees out. There should be a little space under those knees. If you lock the knees out, you'll know your heels will come off the mat. Have the feet flat as if they're against a wall, toes towards the ceiling. Ideally, those heels come into, or those ankles come in together. But if you need a little bit of space, give yourself a little space. Hands are going to start on the tops of the thighs this time. Shoulders are open, moving backwards so that the chest is open. Breathe in nice and tall, and as you breathe out, hinging at the hips, lower the body forwards and then lengthen through your arms, reaching towards or beyond your feet. Try and keep your shoulder blades drawing back so that your chest is open. Think about breathing in, creating some space and length, even if it means you'll lift a little away from the legs, and breathing out, releasing down into those legs. So work here with your breath. Identify what you need to work with. If those hamstrings are really tight, don't worry if you bend those knees a little more. Once you're down, it's something you can work on to draw those knees down towards the mat. Length, stretch, release. When you're ready, use an in-breath to slide yourself up. We'll go into a back bend again, hands behind hips, shoulder blades joined together, chest lifted, gaze lifted. And now we're ready to try our full Paschimottanasana. Stretch those arms up to the ceiling, legs lengthening away. Breathe in, lift. Breathe out, hinge. Try and fold yourself forwards. Work in whatever position you find yourself in. If you're here, that's fine. Work on lengthening through the sides of the body, lengthening that spine, and then attempting to deliver the body down onto the legs as you breathe out. Then we can work on lengthening those legs away. Depending where you feel the tightness, that's where you need to work with. You can't focus on lengthening and dropping that chest forwards if you've really, really tightened those hamstrings. So you need to bend those knees a little. And when you're ready to come out, try and come out the way you went in, breathing in, lifting to the ceiling, releasing as you breathe out. We're going to bridge posture to relax. So bring yourself down onto your mat. The reason I've stood along the mat is so that I've got some space for arms to go overhead. Hips settling, feet flat, heels in as close to your bottom as suits you, ankles and knees hip width apart, arms relaxed by the sides, shoulder blades dropping down into mat. Free in the neck. Tilt through the pelvis, start to lift those hips up towards the ceiling, peeling the spine up off the mat. Breathing, lifting. Lift your heart, lift your hips. When you're ready, allow your spine to steadily roll down onto the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae until your hips touch down. If you identify a movement that you need to make, maybe you'd enjoy bringing a knee in for a hug each side, maybe you need a little twist, anything that works for you, and then take a few moments to release and relax. It may be that you're working from this onto a relaxation or a meditation, but do take a moment to settle, to appreciate the work your body's done. Worked into those hamstrings. You stretch through the back. A few moments with the breath. Body settling and releasing. In breath, creating space and opening. And out breath to relax, release, and let go. I'm going to finish this video here. If you want to relax for a few more moments, please do so. When you're ready, you can bring yourself up. Thank you for watching. Namaste.